Now, these sets that we discussed so far, they are enumerated sets, and because you select those marks from a visualization and they are physically included, and that is it, they are set in stone, they cannot be changed, that is it, it is a stationary static set. Now, you can set up sets using formulas, and then what you get is a dynamic set. Okay. So, what we are going to do is we are going to use the WHO Health Index Excel file, okay, to set up dynamic sets. Okay, so go ahead and download that. Okay, so we're going to add TYD to WHO Health Index. Okay. WHO Health Index. So, here are the dimensions and here are the measures. Okay. Now, before we get into sets, we are going to organize the measures in a little better way. So, when you have lots of measures, it will be useful if you group them into categories that then you can more easily look for them and use them. So, what we can do is we can group them in folders. Business tax rate, days to start a business. So, this is a database of countries and lots of other measures for each of those countries, and it is based on year. So, each country will have several entries, one for each year, right. So, business tax rate, days to start business, ease of business, hours to do tax, lending interest. Okay. So, now, these you can now group by a folder. Okay. Where is it? Okay, so you have to create a folder first. So, call it business, right, and then okay, so you have all of that right there. Okay. The next set is CO2 emissions, energy usage, GDP, internet usage, mobile phone usage, tourism inbound and tourism outbound. Okay. So, again, okay, if you want to add it to an existing folder, you can do that, or if it is to be a new folder, you should create a folder and then development. Okay. And then we have health, the health expense, GDP per capita, and then infant mortality rate. All right, so these 5, they go to health. And then the rest of them, so you got that goes into population. Okay, this is for the designer's convenience. This is for our convenience. It is nothing to do with visualization per se. Okay, so now we want to create a set. All right, so before we get to that, let's set up a visualization. Okay, so we want infant mortality and health care per capita. Okay, health care per capita over there, and infant mortality, and we have, these are now sums. Okay, you don't want sum of these, right? Okay, so you have year. Okay, let's select year, and so let's say select 2010, for example. Okay, so if you want to select more years than just that, all right, so then instead of sum, average would be a better measure, right? Okay. Now we want country, and let's put region in color. Okay. So let's filter that out. Okay. Now, one possible analysis, so let's say year after year, it is the same kind of pattern. There is a bunch of countries right here that have low infant mortality rate and low healthcare expense per capita. Okay. So this is something interesting going on here. So here these are countries with low infant mortality but large per capita health expense, and here are some where low per capita health cost and high mortality. So this also is expected. So here is probably because these are OECD countries where normally the per capita expense is large, but here is a bunch of them, okay, with low infant mortality and low healthcare costs. So maybe this is something that we can study. So we want to set up a set, right?